Good morning. This is Bill Eschenbaugh, the Dirt Dog, as some people call me, from Eschenbaugh Land Company in Tampa, Florida. And today our subject matter is commissions, real estate commissions, and how they split out to buyers, brokers when they're being offered to them. You may have followed the litigation that the National Association of Realtors had with residential brokers, where traditionally they would list a house for 6%, put it in MLS, and offer 3% to the buyer's broker. And they were litigated over that, and today they can no longer do that. They've got a whole different world. None of those changes actually applied to us in the commercial and land side of the business. We traditionally had listed land and offered a 50-50 split between us and the buyer's broker. However, things have changed a lot over time. There is no regulation amongst any of the real estate organizations, and in fact, a lot of that stuff is not in MLS. There's no regulations about how we split. So we've, over the years, developed several policies of our own. First is that any commission is, of course, subject to an agreement with our listing client as to what the commission is going to be. And we also make sure that our client understands if we're splitting it at all and how we're splitting it. So we want everybody to understand that when you look at one of our listings and you're interested in the commission side of it, you need to have the discussion with us. We may have it listed with say a 5% commission total, but we're keeping 3% because we're doing the expenditures of signage and marketing, and the buyer's broker gets 2% if they're willing to accept that. In other cases, especially on our more expensive listings, the fee may be 0 to the outside broker. These are on $5 to $10 million listings and higher. And part of that is in order for us to compete with some of the big national firms who do not offer a fee to the outside broker, we've got to be on equal footing when we compete for the assignment. So I guess my best advice is to make sure when you're talking to a real estate broker and you think that you might want to know what the commission structure is, you better find out up front before you enter into a transaction. One of the toughest and saddest days for me is if we get to a closing and a buyer's broker or a buyer has an expectation of being paid a fee and there's none being offered, or their expectation is something different than what's being offered. So I will end with saying that a long time ago, a gentleman by the name of Tal Bray, who was a very experienced broker when I came into business, said to me, "You know, Billy, there's nothing more useless than a broker who has introduced a buyer and seller and does not have a written agreement on how he's going to be paid." So I've tried to live with that credo. I want to know up front, if I'm working on somebody else's listings, how I'm going to be paid. I try to remember the wisdom of Tal Bray, and I try and pass it on to my team. You got to know how you're going to be paid and get it in writing, because that's the only thing that's binding in real estate is in writing. So that's advice to you if you're a broker out there. That's advice to you if you're a land seller or a land buyer. We all need to know what those things are, and let's do them up front. Let's get them in a contract, and let's have a happy day on closing, not a day of dispute. So again, from the Dirt Dog, if you want to reach me, it's bill@thedirtdog.com. Shoot me an email, text me at 727-410-9595. Have a great day. Thank you.